Kyrie Irving, Maxi freaking Kleber, and the Dallas Mavericks beat none other. Sweet victory. None other than the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to talk all about that today and just soak in this marvelous victory on today's Locked On Mavs.
Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Welcome to Locked On Mavs. This is one of your co-hosts, Isaac Harris, contributor at Mavs.com, Studio 41, Corner 3, and man, what a good day it is. Sorry, I can't let it ride. I mean, I guess we could like hit the intro,
Doncic, and this is Locked On.
but then we could just like let it ride again. I don't have a soundboard, so like Nick lets the song ride, and he has that ability to let it ride. So in your brain, you can just let it ride in your brain. We can just jam out together and just soak in this great victory. Anytime you beat the Los Angeles Lakers, it's a good day. And I think it's extra good that it's good that Nick's not on this one. All right. Because we can just all connect together in our hatred for the Lakers. But if you're watching on YouTube, tell me if you thought Maxi's 3 was going in midair. Yes or no? It's just a yes or no question. Did you think Maxi's 3 was going in? Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. And wait. Sorry, guys. I got to pick this up. Hello? Oh, that's Maxi. It's Maxi calling, baby, because the Lakers suck. Oh, my gosh. Call that, man. I love it so much for Maxi. My wife's in the room. She's probably making fun of me right now. But what an incredible play to end the game. Let's just start there because that's what we're all thinking about. It's what we're all celebrating. It's what I got. Random texts from different people as soon as the shot went in. I was getting super hyped. This last play of the game, Mavs get the ball, and the ball's going to Kyrie, and because it's wild to see. You kind of saw this in the fourth quarter of it's kind of the battle of the double teams. AD was getting double teamed, some Kyrie was getting double teamed. And if the Mavs lost this game, it's because they couldn't get enough going outside of Kyrie, because they just reached the point to where Lakers just doubling Kyrie pretty much any time he took off dribbling. Now, sometimes it didn't matter because he still scored, but they put Theo Pinson in to inbound the ball. I was like, all right, decision. And just because Theo hadn't played all game and they couldn't get the ball in, they called timeout again. It's like, all right, here we go. This is, for all the slack about Jason Kidd keeping timeouts, both of those timeouts came in clutch towards the end of this game, being able to, 1, advance the ball, and then 2, they couldn't get the ball in, so they had to use the second one then. So anyway, they get the ball in the Kyrie. This is such an underrated part of this last play of the game. I tweeted out after the game, but Kyrie's ability to keep the ball going, to keep the ball alive, to keep the dribble alive, that a lot of people would just, when they get doubled like that or they get chased around, that they would just pick up the dribble or try to pass it sooner. He's so quick at the ball. He even does this like behind the back dribble. It's last few seconds of the game. He's going behind the back. He can keep his handle going, kept the dribble alive, went over to the right corner. And also think it's underrated as far as the degree of difficulty for this pass to hit Maxi over on that left wing. And he just, he jumps up, hits this like pinpoint exact 3, spot to Maxi. Maxi drains the 3 over AD. AD was helping a little too much in that spot. And Maxi just drains it. What about the back-to-back possession? One, Maxi had, the 3 in which he got fouled by AD. It's a bad foul by Anthony Davis, but he hits all 3 free throws. And then he drains that 3. At first, not going to lie, I didn't think he got it off in time. But then as soon as they called it, saw the replay, and it's like, oh my gosh, he really did. We could do Zapruder film study on the dog pile. I loved seeing team celebrations after big game winners. One, Coach Peter Patton, the shooting coach for the Mavs, he tried to get it. He was so hyped, and then him and St. Jean was celebrating, but he was down bottom right of the dog pile, all in on it. One, they tackle Maxi, got me all worried. I'm like, all right, we need his hamstring, so just stay off his legs. It was just making me, there's too many injury prone dudes up in that pile for me to not sit there and be like, old man, get off my line. I'm like, oh no, get up. No, watch who's doing that. But then Jason Kidd hops on top of the pile, which is awesome. He's trying to dig down, in the pile to get to Maxi. Luka's out there. Everybody's just celebrating. It was just, man, they needed this win so bad, especially against, not only is it sweet because it's the Lakers, hate the Lakers, they suck, and all of this, but it's a team you're also trying to fight in the standings that you don't want to pass you in the standings, that you could match up with in the play-in and all of this stuff. So anytime you can get a win against, the Lakers, we got the Warriors, coming up this coming up week on Wednesday at home, which the Warriors lost again. So they've lost 28 games on the road. Hopefully they'll be in Dallas on Wednesday night. Hopefully they can chalk up another one in that loss column. But man, just what a game. If we just stick on Maxi, obviously I'm going to talk about this game most of this pod. At the end, I did promise a few Disney on Ice takeaways if I have a few minutes at the end, but there's so much to talk about this game. But I promise I'll give a few at the very end. Let's talk about Maxi just for a second. So Maxi plays 29 minutes in this game. The only three he hits in this game is the game-winning three. He was a -11. He had 10 points. 6 of those was, in those final few possessions. It was just and I wanted to highlight this because it was a tough game for Maxi, but the dude never quits. And you see why he means so much to this team when, he stuck through it the whole game, not having a good game. One, he only took 4 shots. I've highlighted him over the past, few days because he's one of the guys that really needs to play off Kyrie and Luka to have a playmaker to really enhance what he is good at. But man, he stuck with it. Coach Kidd stuck with him at the end of the game, and for him to have both of those possessions, hit all 3 free throws, and then have that game-winning 3, nothing but net. I'm super happy for him. That recovery from the hamstring and all of that, and the work he's put in to come back at the timetable that he has, it's just huge. And this team really needs him. We've talked about how much they need him. I don't think he's close to 100% yet, or what he could be. I don't think his defense has been up to speed, just coming back and all that stuff. I think he's on the right path. They need him healthy, come playoff time. But we got to talk about Kyrie. All right, let's take a break. It's probably an early break, but I don't want to have to take a break in the middle to talk about Kyrie because, this guy put the Mavs on his shoulders tonight and was like, all right, Lakers, I don't know if y'all could have traded for me or not, but I'm going to show everybody in the building tonight who the best player on the floor is, and that was Kyrie Irving. So let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back talking about the Mavs' big-time win over the Los Angeles Lakers. This podcast is brought to you by Nissan. Nissan's most electric player of the week is brought to you by the all-new, all-electric 2023 Nissan Ariya. I know he's only been back for one game this week. I got to give it to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is the Nissan player of the week. 38 points tonight in LA. He could have had more, and he was hurt. He's the player of the week. But yes, he is electric. He is brilliantly fierce. Kyrie is stunningly powerful. These are incredible words to draw into this segment or this ad here. He delivers on duality, combination of fierceness and elegance, beautiful but strong. Am I talking about Kyrie, or am I talking about the new all-electric 2023 Nissan Ariya? I don't know. It's up for you to decide. The 2020 Nissan Ariya packs pin you to your seat's power and premium intelligence all in one EV. The all new, all electric 2023 Nissan Ariya, the EV for people who love to drive. Shop now at nissanusa.com. All right, let's talk about Kyrie Irving. This dude's literally a wizard on the basketball floor. He was questionable going into this game. We know he's missed a handful of games heading into this Lakers game because of the right foot soreness. He talked to media and everybody. Gosh, I want to say before one of those Memphis games, talking about how the recovery for this is taking a little bit longer than what he thought. And this injury's been lingering a little bit for him. But, you know, they upgrade him. He was questionable. They say he's going to play. Him and Tim both play in this game. They were both out the last game. But and even in the first quarter, I was texting with Bobby during the first quarter. I'm like, man, he looks miserable out there. He's grimacing, a lot of grimaces for Kyrie tonight in that first half, first quarter. I was kind of worried. I mean, I was legit worried. I'm like, is he going to make it through this game? It felt like he was kind of deferring a little bit more than normal. Just watching how he's moving around, some facial expressions with the foot. I'm like, man, he's just not 100%. And the dude played. I know it's going to sound really cliche here and cheesy, but I don't care. He played like a champion. Like, this is what guys who've been there, done that before, this is what they do in games like this. In games when you don't have your second running mate in Luka Doncic, you put the team on your back and you play like Kyrie did. Kyrie was 14 of 23. He shot 61% from the field. He hit 5 threes in this game. That's 56% from three. He had 38 points. He was a plus 11, the highest plus minus in this game, if that's a stat for you. He had 6 assists. He had 6 rebounds. I mean, just an incredible performance by him. He could get to the paint whenever he wanted. He was finding guys. He was just hitting guys in these open, lanes, open spaces. I mean, he had some moves late. I mean, that's kind of a cheap foul on the spin move on Schroeder, but he did bring the arm up. But I mean, he hit that floater over Wenyan Gabriel that was nasty there in the fourth. I mean, you just really can't brag on Kyrie enough. He ended up playing with 38 minutes in this game, and not to point it out again, but he's not fully healthy, and he played an incredible game. They needed every bit of what he finished with tonight, 38. But it was some of the decisions by Jason Kidd too with him that I think it's important to point out, because he I thought one of the most important parts of this game was the end of the third quarter. End of the third quarter, about I want to say like midway through the third quarter, both Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving both pick up their 4th foul. And so it's like, hey, they both come out of the game. Even Harp and Mark were talking about, are we going to see these guys again? I think it was like 5 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago. And one of them said, I think it was Harp that said, well, if one of these teams goes on a big run or something, we're probably going to see the other team put the other player in, because they just can't afford it at that point. Jason Kidd puts Kyrie Irving back in the game for the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. And that was when, man, I thought that was arguably the most important stretch of the game outside the Maxi, 3 obviously to win it. But they go on an 8-0 run to end the third quarter. Kyrie has, the step back 3. He's, he just runs. I mean, I tweeted earlier in the game, I was like, who are these transition Mavs? Like, who are these fast break people? Dallas had 17 fast break points tonight. What is this? And I know some people were tweeting at me and saying, hey, this is without Luka, which is very true. Luka loves to play slow, and he loves to be methodical. He loves to be the quarterback who dissects the defense, kind of like the early LeBron and even late LeBron. Even though LeBron's one of the best in transition and all that stuff, LeBron likes doing that. Luka likes doing that. Not saying it's wrong. It's just a whole different style. And tonight you saw that style. But I even want to push a little bit further into the fast-paced stuff. I think they played with so much effort tonight. I think their effort was just off the charts. Both defensively, obviously the Lakers still put up 110, but you know what? It's better than like 136. But I thought they hustled a decent amount, except for Winyan Gabriel. Gabriel, I thought, was out hustling everybody. All the Mavs bigs tonight. Gabriel was like, "Hey, I'm gonna outwork you." Got away with a few fouls, probably, but Gabriel, man, he could battle on the boards. But anyway, it is a fact that if Luka's not going to be in the game, then you can pick up the pace. You can play a little bit different defensively. And that's what they did. It's like, this is what you have to do whenever your best player is out. You do have to adjust. This is one of the things we've kind of criticized Kid in the past of, hey, when Luka's set out, it's like, oh, you just run the same system, right? Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we still doing the exact same thing that we've built around Luka whenever Luka's not in there? And then Luka sets out this game. We see a little bit faster pace. They're flying around. They're doing all the stuff. So anyway, they adjusted to this type of game without Luka tonight. And man, it was a lot of fun to watch. You look at Tim Hardaway's night tonight, him coming back from his injury. I thought he was going to cost the Mavs late in the game. Not going to lie. Got a little worried on it. But he was this ultimate green light, which, I mean, he always has green light. I don't think Tim has ever seen a yellow light or a red light in his life. He's just zooming on through it. But yeah, he missed some shots late. I thought he forced a little bit, but he was 4 of 12 from the field, only hit 1 3 in this game. He did have 12 points off the bench. There was only 3 other players in this game that had over double digits for Dallas, and they barely got it. Maxi, had 10 points. He had to have that last buzzer beater to get there, obviously. But Christian Wood, Tim Hardaway, 12 points each. Outside of that, it was Kyrie Irving, 38, and then a couple guys at 9, and you go across the board. It's kind of the story of the season a little bit. But let's talk about a few other things. Man, I wrote down random notes in this game throughout the thing. I thought I might say it in the third segment to talk about the 3. I guess it's a 3 big lineup, or let's say the Davis at the 3 lineup. It's a weird lineup that Kid threw out there, but it kind of worked. Jaden Hardy's minutes were so weird in this game because Hardy gets in for like technically 5 minutes of 39 seconds. Okay. He plays all of his minutes in the first half, right? Let me make sure on that before I throw it out there. Yeah, he did. He played all of his minutes in the first half and never saw him again in the second half. So, but in those 5 minutes of 39 seconds from Hardy, man, I just wrote down again. I'm like, he looks like he belongs. He looks comfortable out there. And I do want to praise him a little bit more because this is a guy who has seen more than anybody, more than Christian Wood, I think, that has seen his role fluctuate so much throughout the season, from DMPCDs, from the G League, from starting and playing, 30-something minutes when people are injured, from putting up 29 points in a game to barely playing in a game like this. But I thought he belonged out there. And, he hit a 3 in Austin Reeves' face. What is Austin Reeves in the league? I don't know. I'm like, what is Austin Reeves' ceiling? Because there's times I'm like, all right, you're kind of frisky. You're kind of fun. Like, I think you're not like a bad player, even though he looks like Cobblepot, the penguin off Gotham. He just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's a starter, but I'm like, I guess you could do worse if he's coming off your bench. I thought they had to rely on him a little bit too much at times, but who cares? It's the Lakers. But anyway, he never saw the floor again. I thought that was kind of weird, but McKinley Wright also played, and I thought McKinley Wright played some decent minutes too. He had a big 3, then had kind of like a little, he's like, hey, I hit 1, got to take another. He's kind of open though, so I don't really blame him. But anyway, let's take another quick break, and then we'll be back to talk about this 3 big lineup. And then I gotta report back on some Disney on Ice feedback here. This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Has there ever been a time in your life that you wanted to learn something new about yourself? Maybe you're walking through a moment, maybe you're walking through a valley Maybe you're walking through a time in your life where you're like, man, I have a lot of questions about what to do next. This is where BetterHelp could come into play. I've went to therapy before, and walking in the door, open up the Zoom call for the very first time is the hardest part. But every single time I walked out of one of those sessions, I never regretted it. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who could take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, let's talk about this three big lineup that we had. So there was a moment there. I literally wrote down my notes. I was like, Bertans at the 3? ? What? I don't know what goes into some of Jason Kidd. I mean, there's sometimes I'm like, all right, did he throw that lineup out there just on the whim of, you know what? Let's just try Davis out there with two other bigs. Or is this something he had in his back pocket? Does he decide on the whim of like, hey, Jaden Hardy, all right, you played 5 minutes, you're not going to play again. It kind of worked though. I mean, you look at Bertans in this game, he hits two threes in those. I mean, he only plays 7.5 minutes in this game, a little over 7.5 minutes in this game, almost 8. He hits both of those threes. That second one was total heat check Davis, and you're like, all right, I guess is this what it is? And then we barely saw him again. So this is kind of the story of the Mavs reserves. It's like, hey, can you give us some random 5 to 8 minute stretches now to where, hey, you might be called upon, hit a couple threes, just be efficient in these minutes. But yeah, it kind of worked. I don't know if I'm here for it all the time, but you know what? I'm sure. Like defensively, asking Davis to guard, some wings out there, you're not going to be able to get away with it in a lot of these games tonight. You kind of got away with it, but he still got burnt a few times. So anyway, there you go. Fourth quarter happens. Lakers go on a 12-2 run. Got super worried. I'm sure a lot of you guys got worried. Tyler Ford, Josh Tiven, big moments for them. They were getting hyped up in the game. They're selling, 39 ref jerseys, 58 ref jerseys in the fan shop. Heard they were selling out, but trying to get restocks in next week. So make sure you pick up those swingman ref jerseys next week. But despite that, Mavericks still came back. There was once again to praise Kid again for leaving Kyrie in there. Kyrie got his 5th foul and he left him in there. And he's like, all right, dude, like, you got this. Like, we got to have you. Like, you just watch your fouls here. And Kyrie still did his thing. I mean, you look at in the second half, Kyrie had 24 of his 38 points in the second half. In the fourth quarter alone, he had 13 points in the fourth, 5 of 7 from the field. This is why you go get a Kyrie Irving. This is why LeBron's over there looking like Morpheus from the Matrix, looking at Kyrie like, all right, I need you on my team next year. Kyrie was incredible, and this is why you go get him to pair him with Luka Doncic. I couldn't help but to think tonight, the times when Kyrie was getting double teamed in that second half, and he was just trying to get out of it and then pass it. I'm like, dude, if Luka was out there, like they couldn't double anybody. Like they couldn't double him or Kyrie. We've only got to see that just a handful of times where both of them are like on it. Philly game was a lot of fun when they had 40 points each and all that. But yeah, that was fun. And then they obviously stayed in it. Took the punch from the Lakers in that 12-2 run, and then it came down to that. There's some weird stuff that happened there towards the end of the game. Some weird foul calls. You start looking at like the free throws, and I mean, I was making ref jokes a while ago, but you start looking at some of the free throw differences and stuff in this game, and it gets kind of weird. There was one point there And, I mean, the Lakers were in the bonus. It felt like the whole freaking fourth quarter. They shot 31 free throws tonight. Dallas is 19. That doesn't tell the whole story, but if you watch this game, you'd be a little. I thought Christian Wood should have had a few more fouls given to him tonight. Not like him fouling. I thought he got fouled a few times more than what they were calling. But as I said the other night, a win is a win, right? Like that is, yeah, that is. They pulled off another win. They're sixth. No, they're seventh right now in the NBA. I mean, I don't even know why. We should probably just do standings update like once a week because the standings change like literally every single night. But no, yeah, they are sixth right now in the Western Conference. So if the West ended right now, they would play Memphis in the first round. Sign me up for that series. That would be kind of fun, right? All right, got a few extra minutes here. I'm sure I'll enjoy talking about this game again Sunday night with Nick. Y'all can get him to let it ride again. Once again, sorry about that. Also, the other day, y'all tweeted at me about me leaving the intro song out. That was not on purpose. That was where I had the whole like difficulties. I lost like half the pod before uploading, so I had to redo it. I accidentally left that line in my editing process muted, that audio track there. So I got a good laugh whenever y'all tweeting at me. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm not going to go back and change it. So there you go. Silent open there. But I had to report back on Disney on Ice. All right. So we go to we go to Disney on Ice the other night, my family and I. And here's just a couple takeaways from it. I'm in the AAC a lot, okay, for all these Mavs games. Been going for a handful of years. And the difference between a Mavs game and Disney on Ice is everybody has, and if you listen to the Corner 3 on Saturday, you'll hear me talk some more about this, but everybody has a goal at Mavs games. Like you're either getting popcorn, getting food, or you're going to the hangar, or you're going to the bathroom, or you're just going to your seat. Like everybody's going somewhere. It was just pure chaos at Disney on Ice. Just like kids, families, no one knows where they're going. Everybody's running into people. I'm like, this is the most frustrated, like, traffic. Like, we should just put up like traffic cones. Just everybody direct traffic, move, keep on moving, and keep going. They swindle you for so much cash at this thing. It's like all of this like random Disney stuff. It's not even like Disney. It's like, hey, we're gonna sell you a wand for like $40. It's like, why am I paying $40 for a little wand? And it was a fun experience. It was cool. Super chilly in there, but sign me up for that. It's cool. My daughter was in like a little, Belle princess dress. She loved it. My son, he liked it. I don't, he just kind of sat there. He loved The Incredibles in that. Kat and Bobby, Kat told me there's a lot of Twitter feedback on Elastigirl. Elastigirl's performance. A lot of Twitter feedback on that. One of the weirder parts, though, of the whole Disney on Ice experience, they had a little Toy Story segment. So they have all these segments: Moana, Frozen, all the stuff that anybody with toddlers you've seen about a million times. But then they have Toy Story. And it's like, all right, shout out. Here we go. You got a friend in me. I'll sing it with you guys. Nope. Old Town Road for Woody. It's like, whoa. All right. We're just pivoting. And then they had a couple other like new-ish songs. I say new-ish. Not let me say this, that because it's not new-ish. Non-Toy Story songs. So I don't know if this is like a copyright thing, but like you're using the characters. But they didn't play any of the Toy Story songs. I'm like, this is super weird. Yeah, I'm watching Woody, skate around the rink with Buzz Lightyear singing Old Town Road. And just an odd experience. But fun thing. I guess it was worth it. Barb, was it worth it? Oh, I think my wife's asleep. Dang. This pod was so boring for her. She fell asleep. Anyway, there you go. Some Disney on Ice thoughts. I got more takes about this. I literally took notes on my phone. Just some weird stuff. Just watch some of the parent I love now that I'm in this phase now that I can like see other parents with toddlers and kind of know what spot they're in. I love just observing people and how they go about things. But anyway, there you go. Big Mavs win. Big one for the standings. Super happy for Maxi and these Mavs. Now they move on for a game coming up on Monday night. Looks like with another jaw-less Memphis team. And let's see if they can get a little win streak going. But we'll be back on Sunday night. Nick will be back. He's been up in the Grand Canyon. If he makes it out of there, looking at rocks and whatever you look at the Grand Canyon. But make sure you tweet at him and ask him if he's seen the end of this Mavs-Lakers game. Because, just look forward to rubbing that in to him on the pod. Hope you guys have a great weekend and see you soon. Peace out. Boom.